nothing alike. We's different. You ain't the hustling type. We's different.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the YouTube world, CJ Rose's back in the building. Welcome back to the channel, live and direct, live in effect. Make sure you subscribe to find out what's next. We are here. Okay, so welcome to day 3 of the 7-day hell. I wasn't planning to make a video this early. I was just gonna watch TakeOver Night 1 and then review it after. But as I prep myself for my WrestleMania 37 Night 1 predictions tomorrow, I was just thinking about what could I say about, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley in terms of predictions. And the only thing I kept replaying in my mind was the Hurt Business. What happened with them and everything like that. The outrage that's been going on for the last 2 weeks. I never gave my opinion on it. So I figured, why not? So here's how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. And then I'm going to give you a perspective on what WWE may be thinking. To give you two sides of this whole thing. Okay, so let's do that. So how do I feel about the Hurt Business breaking up? Quite frankly, I am appalled, disgusted, annoyed, frustrated, angry. Everything but positive. Because there was no positive about the Hurt Business breaking up. No positive. Because think about this. MVP and Bobby Lashley decided to click to the hip in April of last year. So pretty much a year ago, Bobby Lashley and MVP became a thing in WWE. Then 2 months later in June is when, 2 months later in June is when Shelton Benjamin joined. And then 2 months after that in August is when August or September is when Cedric Alexander joined. So we're talking from September to March is when the Hurt Business were a thing. That is 6 to 7 months of this stable being together. That is not enough time for a stable to flourish, especially considering the fact that we were going through a whole entire problem last year. And we're still going through it today, but it's not as bad as it was last year. So the fact that they made it work in the situation that they were in should tell you a lot. It should tell you so much. But apparently, according to Vince McMahon, it didn't tell him anything. Because not only did they make it work in the situation that they were in, but they were over like Rover. I never heard no negative thing about the Hurt Business. I loved the Hurt Business, of course. Because I was always a fan of Bobby Lashley ever since he came to WWE back in 2005. I was always a fan of Bobby Lashley. I was always a fan of Shelton Benjamin since he got his single run in 2004. MVP, I was up and down, but regardless, I liked them in Cedric Alexander. I liked them individually. For them to come together, it worked out. It worked out better than expected. And I was all for it because it was nothing but black excellence. And you gotta love it. They acted like business. They dressed like business. They went out there and did nothing but business. It worked out. So what exactly was the problem? That's the thing. I don't think there was a problem. Because the story goes, Vince McMahon woke up one day and he just thought to himself, it's time to break up the Hurt Business, pal. I'm not feeling this Hurt Business. I'm not in the business of hurt. I'm in the business of money. They aren't making me money. Break them up. Which, in hindsight, makes no sense because the Hurt Business is probably one of the best stables in WWE since The Shield. And we're talking, and I'm not talking about the second innovation of The Shield back in when they reformed in 2017. No. I'm talking about The Shield from 2012 to 2014 Shield. I'm talking that Shield. That's how good the Hurt Business was. And I'm also talking about they had the makings of being the next evolution. That's how good the Hurt Business was looking to me personally. May not be to you, but to me, they had all the ability to be the next evolution. Maybe not really in a sense, but something like that. You know what I'm saying? But Vince McMahon just woke up one day and said to himself, it's time to break this team up. Which they've been together for half a year. They were looking great. Now the fact that Bobby Lashley became WWE champion last month. So now it's like you can do so much with this now. Like half the year now, the guy that's kind of centered, not the guy that is centered around this whole stable, Bobby Lashley, is now the man. You could have ran with this in the best way. You actually probably could have added to this. Because MVP is not going to be an active wrestler here. He's not an active wrestler. You actually could add somebody else to this. And I can think of one name off the top of my head, and I know you can too, Keith Lee. You could have added him, and he could become United States champion. And that way, the Hurt Business runs Raw, period. Because they got all the gold. It works out. So I'm just trying to figure out why Vince McMahon just decided to just wake up one day and just go, oh, this is not working. Because if there was a crowd, you can't tell me this faction would not have been over. They would have been over like, bro, yeah. You would have heard cheers. I don't know what type of chant they would have did. Or THB, probably like THB. They can't say Hurt Business. Or they could probably go Hurt Business. Hurt Business. They could have did that. You know what I'm saying? That you come on, man. Like, what is it gonna what did they do wrong? What makes it worse is all four of them went straight to Vince. Was like, please don't break this up. We got something. And Vince just looked at them like they were stupid. Vince just listened to them and just act like my decision stands. And I'm still trying to figure out why. And what kind of is annoying about this whole thing is, I'm just putting it on tape. I'm just putting it out there. Listen, the Hurt Business, they're 4 black individuals. Let's be factual. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. The Hurt Business is four black individuals, right? Collectively work. It works, the stable works, everything is fine. My question is, what was the problem? You know what I'm saying? Nobody had a problem. They were over with the crowd. Everybody loved them. I loved them. What is the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, when I look at the Hurt Business, I think to myself, they could probably be as successful. Well, I can't say they can be as successful as the New Day. Because like when I think of the Hurt Business, I think of the New Day. Like I think of, you know, and they're 3 black men as well. And look how successful the New Day have been over the course of what, 2014? I guess they got together late 2014 and then they pretty much ended what, 2020. They've been doing that for 6 years. 6 years. And they are 11-time tag team champions. You mean to tell me that Hurt Business couldn't be somewhat as successful? I'm not saying they could win multiple championships. Probably. We don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what's the problem. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue? Like, what's going on? Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm listening. But I read an article today, literally maybe an hour ago. I read an article, and a question was posed in that article, and the question was, well, not the question. Well, the title of the article was the Hurt Business breakup showed how much of a ceiling a black wrestler has, right? And that right there strikes so much, because when we really sit here and think about black wrestlers, how many black successful wrestlers can we really count? I mean, the only person that comes to mind in terms of that is The Rock. The Rock is probably the most successful black man to ever step in the ring. Honestly. If you want to go a little step further, I put Booker T in there too. I think Booker T and The Rock are probably the most successful black men ever. If you understand how declarated Booker T is, then that's why I put him in the same with The Rock. But in terms of household names, no, The Rock is the biggest name, period, when it comes to black wrestlers, period. But after The Rock, and maybe after Booker T, there's nobody else really. I mean, Ron Simmons is the first ever African-American world champion. But nobody ever acknowledges that as much. The only time you ever acknowledge that is Black History Month. You know, Mark Henry won a World Heavyweight Championship. He may be a WWE Hall of Famer, but how much status do we put him up? Like, what stature do we put up Mark Henry? Not much. You know what I'm saying? Then it comes to the other ones, like Kofi Kingston. After 11 years, finally became WWE champion. Had a very decent run, I may add. I think he had a very decent run. I mean, you're talking about he beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE championship. I was there. The atmosphere was amazing when he won. And then he beat people like Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton. That's not bad company to beat. That's not a bad resume to beat. But for some reason, his title run still felt lackluster, because even if he beat these people, we still thought his challengers were still going to win the title regardless, because nobody believed in Kofi, really. And then what happened? Not only did he beat them, but instead he runs into Brock Lesnar, right? Instead of the match at least having some type of length, the match ends in seconds. Kofi's whole 6-month reign ended like that in seconds. That loss alone kind of illustrates, what does his title run? What did his title run mean? If you mean tell me this man loses it in seconds, his title run didn't mean a damn thing, and that's literally just how it goes. So now it becomes a thought of, is this a race thing now? And I don't want to take it there. I don't want to take it there. I'm not a person that likes to talk about race. I don't like doing that. But now you just think about it. Is it a race thing? Because again, after Rock and Booker T, who else is successful in terms of a black wrestler? And then the other question boats this. Then the other question boats this. Because I remember reading the same article. Had a question in it. What other black wrestler named The Rock is successful? Again, The Rock, in my mind, the most successful black man to ever step in the ring. And he has to be. Because this man was number 2 to Austin, if not as equal to Austin in terms of popularity and the Attitude Era. But then he steps out of the ring and becomes one of one of the greatest actors in the world. Like that's how good The Rock is. This man goes from conquering the ring to stepping out and basically top 5 greatest actors in the world. That's insane. So that off that alone, The Rock is the most successful. I put Booker T there because I think Booker T is one of the most decorated superstars in terms of African American descent. Period. I think he's one of the most decorated. He does not get his just due, and that's just how I see it. Now, going all the way back to this, to bold the question, after The Rock and Booker T, who else is there? I put Mark Henry, I put Ron Simmons. They both need their just due because I believe they deserve it. Who else is there? I mean, Shelton Benjamin should have been world champion. He never got his just due. I think MVP could have had a run at the world title, but never got his just due. Bobby Lashley should have been world champion before he left. He never got his just due, but I guess they'll count the ECW title as a world title. I guess they will. I don't know. If they do, then screw it. But they never acknowledge that, so I don't think that matters. You know what I'm saying? Who else? As I said, Kofi Kingston. I think Kofi Kingston needs his just due. He's great. Big E hopefully will get to the upper echelons of grabbing that world title at some point. Xavier Woods, even though Xavier Woods is the 3rd best member of the New Day, I still believe Xavier Woods is still that good. He's exceptionally talented, and he doesn't get his just due at all either. You know what I'm saying? Titus O'Neil. Granted, Titus O'Neil is his resume is awful. In terms of a WWE resume, it's trash. But in terms of what he can do, what he has done for that company, come on. He don't get his just due. It's not fair. He should be hosting WrestleMania 37 by himself. Why is he not? No, because they want to put Hulk Hogan there. And mind you, Hulk Hogan got a bad reputation as it is. Why the hell are you putting him with Titus O'Neil? Titus O'Neil is good enough where he can host the damn thing himself. But Vince doesn't believe in Titus that much. And that's how I feel. Like, it's not fair. Like, and then now I really sit here and think about it. You remember Rikishi's promo? I know we all remember Rikishi's promo back in 2000. Where, I ran over Stone Cold. I know y'all remember that promo. Now I'm thinking about that promo in my head. That promo was specific to the Island Boys. It was more specific to it was more specific to Rikishi's family, much less the African American descent. But I think I think still regardless, I think the underlining is there. And I still think he was talking about this race regardless. And I think that holds true. Truthfully, for me personally, because every black man in this business has been held back, and you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me otherwise. So I don't know what to really think and believe when something like this happens. When you mean tell me a group of 4 black men come together successfully and become one of the best stables in years, you break it up for no reason, but have the audacity and the nerve to have a 3-man group like 3MB last for almost 2 years and they win nothing. But sit here, wake up one day like, oh, the Hurt Business needs to break up. Why? 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 I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't. Now, let me get into, I just went 20 minutes of how I felt. Let me get into what I think WWE is thinking. For me, I think WWE is thinking the lines of maybe Cedric and Shelton were not the best people to put in this stable. Maybe they separated them from Lashley and MVP to maybe adding two more people. Maybe. That's how I'm seeing it. And the reason why I'm seeing it like that is because I remember MVP tweeted, I think it was earlier this week. It was either this week or no, it had to be last week. It was last week, I believe. He tweeted, Baron Corbin is not part of the Hurt Business. Just so we know, Lashley and MVP are the Hurt Business. We are always looking for applicants, right? So I'm thinking in the back of my mind that maybe they just didn't feel Cedric and Shelton were the best two picks. But then again, if you think about it, if we're going off race here, who else would really fit that bill? Because if you were to add Keith Lee, you would have had to give Keith Lee a couple months here. Like, if Keith Lee comes back within the time, then I think that would be the perfect opportunity to put Keith Lee in. Because Keith Lee, at this point in time, since being on the main roster, hasn't done a thing. He may have had a WWE Championship match, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe in that aspect, you are you're saving Keith Lee for this Hurt Business, and we just make it the Hurt Business 2.0. I'm thinking that way. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. But that's what I'm thinking. I said Keith Lee. Maybe somebody's like a Ricochet. Maybe you could put Ricochet in there. That's a good opportunity. Put Ricochet in there. They've been teasing Ricochet. They've been giving a storyline of Ricochet should be in the Hurt Business for months. Might as well just say screw it. You know what I'm saying? Like Ricochet, Keith Lee with the Hurt Business. That I'm fine with that. Because I think that works a little better in a sense. I mean, hear me out here. Again, Shelton Benjamin is, I'm not saying he's on the tail end of his career, but listen, his prime is past him. But he can still go. I'm not saying he can't go. But maybe you want to put that for somebody who's at least been here for a shorter amount of time and they could probably benefit a little more. I don't know. I'm trying to get the logic here. Now, mind you, Keith Lee's only been on the main roster since what? When was Backlash? Not Backlash. It was Payback. August? No, that was like September. That was like the first week of September, I believe. Okay, so September. So from September to now, that's what, 6 or 7 months? Hasn't really done anything. Hurt Business could help, right? And we talk about Ricochet, who's been on the main roster since 2019, so it's been about 2 years. That can help him as well. I think that that could be more of a evolution type of thing. I think if you put Ricochet and Keith Lee in Hurt Business, I think that would make it more of an evolution thing. Because that's what evolution was supposed to be. Triple H and Ric Flair. At the time, both careers were stellar. Ric Flair was the greatest wrestler to ever live. Teams up with Triple H, who pretty much was one of the best wrestlers in the game at that time. No pun intended. Came together, said we need two recruits. Batista and Randy Orton were both of those recruits. Both of them came off the positive of that group. Both of them became multiple-time world champions, with Batista becoming a Hall of Famer and Randy Orton becoming a 14-time world champion. So if they can do it like that, I feel a little better that way. I do. I feel much better if that is the case. If it becomes that. Cool. No problem. But right now, I don't know what to think. And you know what makes this all worse? This is what makes this worse. Drew McIntyre's winning that WWE Championship this Saturday at WrestleMania. He's winning that title. I'm not denying it. I'm trying to fight it, but I'm not going to deny it. Because Drew McIntyre didn't win the WWE Championship last year in front of fans. So now you're forcing us to see that. This is a force. It's nothing but a force. Because what else would it be? What else would it be? This is a force. Listen, Drew McIntyre won the WWE Championship last year at WrestleMania in front of no fans. That's not Drew's fault. Quite frankly, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not WWE's fault. But WWE did what they had to do. Because push come to shove, they could have canceled everything. And we would have got nothing. So something's better than nothing. We got something. I would have felt better if Drew McIntyre just was on the card. Like just on the card facing no champion. Just had a match. I think that would have been better off. But now you're going to force a third title reign on us because you want to give Drew McIntyre something he never experienced. I understand he didn't experience it. I get it. But his time as WWE champion, let's cut that for a while. Let's put that on a back burner for at least a good year or two. Don't force that on us. That's not fair. And that's not fair to Lashley either, who's only going to have a month reign and probably never going to have another reign again. That's not fair. And then you take away something like the Hurt Business from it. Then what's Lashley going to have after WrestleMania? MVP? And no disrespect to MVP, but all of what Lashley's done, that's his best. That's the best you can give him. Like, boy, I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to... God. We'll see. I'll tell you what I think about that Drew McIntyre Bobby Lashley match tomorrow in my WrestleMania 37 predictions for night 1, because I have an idea. And I don't know if WWE will go with the idea, but if they do, it'll be fire. But we'll see what happens. But until then, it's been Rose, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love and support. As always, if you made it to this part, I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you like what I said, please like it. If you have a suggestion or whatever the case is, write down in them comments. And if you like what I do, trust me, I do a lot of these. Please subscribe for more. Trust me, I got a lot of videos on the way for the rest of the week. So you might as well subscribe, you know what I'm saying? So until next time, peace, love, 100. Hear it?